Karmajoba. So if you know me, you know I've decided on Georgia as my place to live out the rest of my life. It kind of ticked all the boxes of what's important to me, but more importantly, what's important to you. If you're watching this, you're probably looking at finding another country, find a backup plan for the country you're in. Since a lot of, especially Western countries, aren't going so well, always good to have a backup plan. For Georgia, it's not only my backup plan, it is my plan. So if Georgia goes wrong, then I don't know what I'm going to do. I might go to Armenia, I don't know. But up to you, what you want to do, what's important to you. I've discussed in a few other videos that about crime. Crime's quite important. But as we know, being any country has crime. Even in the U.S., well, a lot of crime in the U.S. now, but you can go to a big city like New York or Chicago in the U.S., have more murders than almost anywhere in the world. You go 5 miles in any direction, it's one of the safest areas. So we all know, especially in big cities, there's areas you really don't go to. You stay away from those, you'll be all right. That's basically the same with every country, I believe. So we covered the crime, which is kind of important, I think. You don't want to go to a corrupt country like U.S. or Canada and go to another U.S. or another country that's corrupt. It kind of defeats the purpose. You want to go to a country that's better. Less crime, less corruption. We also did a video earlier about the cost of living. That's quite important. I mean, if you're very rich, you're probably not going to be, well, you still might be watching me because Georgia still is a great place if you're rich or not. But if you have a lot of money, maybe the cost of living is not going to matter too much to you. You can go to other countries, probably safer, better. A lot of countries better than Georgia, a lot of countries worse than Georgia. But for me, how much money I have, my ideas, my plans, what I want to do, I pick Georgia. That's what I'm trying to show you, what's important to you. So today we're going to look at language. Is English important for you? Do you want to go to a country that speaks the same language as you? Most countries are going to speak English. That's kind of the language of business, language of the world right now. Most countries are going to know some English. You're going to know a little bit of English. If you're Japanese, all you know is Japanese. You go to another country like Georgia, not going to be many people speaking Japanese. Might be a little difficult for you. Not that difficult, I think. I've been to countries like Indonesia. At the time, it seemed like everyone I met, some people know English, of course, but it seemed like everywhere I went, every person I met, no one spoke any English. At least they didn't speak it to me. So it makes you learn the local language quicker, easier. So that's a good thing to not know the language, to help you learn the language, especially if you want to become a citizen. A lot of countries you need to know the language to become a citizen of that country. But is English important to you as a country you want to leave? Maybe you're from the U.S. You really don't want to go to another country that maybe doesn't speak much English. So that's what we're going to talk about today. English. We're going to go through a bunch of countries, see how they rank in proficiency around the world. What are the best countries for if you're interested in English, and some of the worst. Like I said, for me, it didn't really matter too much. If I like the country, I go. I try to learn the local language. You're always going to find someone who speaks some English. You don't really want to depend on that person, but it helps to know someone that speaks English also in that country. But here we go. Let's take a look at the top countries that are proficient in English. So number 1, the Netherlands. Actually, look on this whole list. There's 13 countries here. Unless you're super rich or have a relative from there where you might be able to get in that way, none of these countries you're going to be becoming a citizen of or living in. So you might want to forget about these countries unless you really have a lot of money or you have a nice business that they'll accept you. Otherwise, these aren't very good. Number 4, Denmark or Singapore. I spent a lot of time in Singapore. I like Singapore. It's a clean country, low crime country. You see their English is they're number 4 in the world. So they do quite well. Number 9, Finland. That's interesting. You wouldn't think they'd speak a lot of English in Finland, but like I said, most countries are going to speak English, so it doesn't matter too much. But let's go on. Number 14 to 31, Serbia. Number 14, that's an interesting country. So a lot of these countries on this 14 to 31 are actually countries you can look into. You might be able to get into, especially if you don't have a lot of money. Philippines, Slovakia, Estonia. A lot of these have interesting citizenships or temporary resident permits, starting businesses there. Malaysia used to be pretty good. They changed though. I lived in Malaysia. I didn't meet a lot of people that spoke English in Malaysia. A lot of people do, of course, but not for me. It's funny, in France, I was in France before also, and I don't think I met one person that spoke English there, but they probably just didn't want to speak English to me. I don't know. But there you go, 14 to 31. Some interesting countries you can look at if you're decided against Georgia. Let's go 32 to 58. Some other countries, South Korea, you're not going to really get in there. A lot of these countries are a little tough to get into. Ukraine's not really the best country to go to right now. Cuba. If you're an American citizen, you might be looking at Cuba or Canadian. That might be a good country for you. Number 50, Georgia. Actually, it's funny, they speak a little more English and Chinese than in Georgia. I actually lived in China, and I didn't meet a lot of Chinese or English speakers either, but there you have it. Let's see what we got on here. Anything interesting? Belarus. Interesting country. Dominican Republic, maybe. Paraguay. Chile. Iran. Number 58, Iran. It's quite interesting. You're not going to be living there, but so Georgia's number 50. It's not too bad. Next page, 59 to 85. Armenia is 59. That's a very interesting country. A lot of opportunities there. Pakistan, you're not going to be probably going to, or Bangladesh. Vietnam, number 66. Of course, I lived there many years. I didn't meet many people that spoke English. I go out on the street or go somewhere, zero. They teach it. They say they teach it. I always ask my translators and people I work with. They teach English, but some reason nobody speaks it, or I just don't meet those people. Turkey is kind of interesting, only number 70. Turkey is right next door to Georgia, of course. Another interesting country. Not a very good time now at the high inflation rate, but there you go. Look at there's 78 in Japan. We just talked about Japan. Indonesia, number 80. I lived many years in Indonesia. Didn't meet a lot of English speakers in Indonesia, but not that difficult of language. Made me learn the language pretty well. I could get around by myself, order food, find the toilet, do what I needed to do. So it wasn't very difficult to learn the language. That's the good thing about countries that don't speak English very much, is you can learn the language. So there you go. Number 87 to 112. A couple of these countries you don't want to go to, maybe Afghanistan. Mexico, number 92. You think right next door to the U.S., they'd be a little higher speaker, but guess they don't teach a lot of English in Mexico. Cambodia, number 97. Saudi Arabia, you'd think they'd be a little higher and more proficient in speaking English, but there you go. Yemen, probably not going to go to Yemen or South Sudan either. Yemen, number 112. So that's it. There you go. 112 countries. Number 50, Georgia. Not too bad. Might be a little tricky language, a little tricky to read and write, maybe to pronounce, but it's good if you're going to move to another country, kind of learn their language a little bit more. People like that, even if you're not very good at it, they'll help you. But a lot of people in Georgia know English. Seems the younger people, I think they say under 30, they know English pretty well. Over 30, not so much, especially the older people, more Russian. But if English is important to you, there you have it. Not too bad in Georgia. There's a few countries speak a little bit better. I've been to some of these other countries, but doesn't seem to make a difference too much. I think if you're in a big city, more people are going to be able to know English. They like to go out in the country more, like me, maybe a little less, but who cares? You live and learn. There you go, Georgia, number 50. Hope that helps you out. Thanks for watching.